Alright, everyone settle in because today we are diving headfirst into one of the most explosive and, frankly, unforgettable moments in modern sports history. I'm talking about a controversy that didn't just shake up the NFL, it absolutely sent shockwaves through the entire fabric of American culture, blurring the lines between sports, politics, and social justice in a way we had never quite seen before. This isn't just about football, it's about a moment that forced us all to confront our values, our beliefs, and what we truly expect from our public figures and our athletes. You know, I remember exactly where I was when this whole thing really blew up, and I bet many of you do too, because it felt like the entire country was holding its breath, or maybe yelling at their TV screens, depending on your perspective. We're going to unpack Donald Trump's most controversial football take ever, a stance that ignited a firestorm of debate and fundamentally altered the landscape of professional sports for years to come. This isn't a simple story with clear heroes and villains. It's a complex tapestry woven with threads of patriotism, free speech, racial injustice, and the immense power of a presidential megaphone. So what exactly are we talking about here? Well, to truly understand the magnitude of it, all we need to rewind a little bit to a time when player protests during the national anthem were already a simmering issue but hadn't yet reached their boiling point. Colin Kaepernick had already begun his kneeling protest in 2016 to raise awareness about racial inequality and police brutality, a move that was already generating significant discussion and division. His actions sparked a conversation, but it was a conversation that was largely confined to sports media and certain political circles. It hadn't yet become a full-blown national crisis that dominated every news cycle. Then came September 22, 2017, and a rally in Huntsville, Alabama, where President Trump took the stage and delivered a speech that would forever change the trajectory of this conversation. He looked out at the crowd and he didn't mince words. He directly attacked NFL players who chose to kneel during the anthem. He called for owners to fire those son of AB********H players who he felt were disrespecting the flag and the country. This wasn't a nuanced critique, this was a direct aggressive challenge that left no room for misinterpretation, and it immediately set the entire sports world ablaze. The specific phrasing, son of AB*******H, was incredibly incendiary. It wasn't just a criticism, it was a personal attack, a dehumanizing label directed at professional athletes who were exercising what they believed to be their constitutional rights. This particular choice of words escalated the debate from a discussion about the appropriateness of protest to a full-blown culture war, where the President of the United States was openly advocating for the termination of American citizens for their peaceful expression. It was a moment that transcended typical political discourse and plunged directly into the realm of personal dignity and professional livelihood. The immediate reaction was nothing short of explosive. Players across the league felt personally targeted and insulted, not just by the president's words, but by the implicit threat to their careers. Many saw it as an attack on their humanity, their right to free speech, and their efforts to highlight important social issues. It galvanized many athletes who had previously been hesitant to join the protests, leading to widespread demonstrations of solidarity in the games that followed that very weekend. Suddenly, what had been individual or small group protests transformed into a league-wide statement. Teams locked arms on the sidelines, some entire teams knelt, others remained in the locker room during the anthem. It was a powerful visual display of unity and defiance, a collective pushback against what they perceived as an overreach of presidential power and an attempt to silence their voices. This wasn't just about one player anymore, it was about the entire brotherhood of the NFL standing together against what they felt was an injustice. NFL owners found themselves in an incredibly difficult position, caught between their players, their fans, and the President of the United States. Some owners, like Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, initially knelt with his team in a show of unity, but later adopted a stricter stance mandating players stand for the anthem. This shifting position highlighted the immense pressure owners were under trying to navigate the complex political and social currents while also managing their multi-billion-dollar businesses. They were trying to appease everyone, and in doing so often ended up pleasing no one. Commissioner Roger Goodell also faced immense scrutiny and pressure. His initial statements tried to walk a tightrope, acknowledging the players' right to protest while also emphasizing the importance of patriotism and respect for the flag. It was a delicate balancing act that ultimately satisfied very few people. The league's internal policies on the anthem became a hot-button issue, with various proposals floated and debated, each one failing to fully resolve the deep divisions that had emerged. Goodell was in an unenviable position, trying to lead a league that was deeply fractured. The media coverage of this controversy was absolutely relentless, and it quickly became a highly partisan issue. Conservative media outlets often amplified the message that players were disrespecting the flag, and the military framing the protests as unpatriotic and un-American. Liberal outlets conversely focused on the players' right to free speech and the underlying issues of racial injustice that they were trying to highlight. The debate was no longer just about football, it was about the fundamental values of the country and how different segments of society interpreted them. This brings us to the very core of the controversy: the fundamental clash between free speech and patriotism. For the players and their supporters, the protests were never about disrespecting the flag or the military. They were about using their platform to draw attention to systemic racial inequality, police brutality, and the ongoing struggle for civil rights in America. They saw the anthem as a powerful moment to make a statement about the country's unfulfilled promises of liberty and justice for all. It was a call for change, not an act of disdain. On the other side, President Trump and his supporters framed the protests as a direct affront to the flag, the national anthem, and everything they believed those symbols represented. For them, the act of kneeling was an act of disrespect towards service members, veterans, and the nation itself. They argued that sports should be a sanctuary from politics, a place where people could come together and enjoy a game without being confronted by divisive social issues. The "stick to sports" mantra became a rallying cry for those who felt the protests were out of place. One of the most unfortunate aspects of this entire saga was how the original message of the protest often got lost or distorted. Colin Kaepernick's initial intent was to bring attention to specific injustices, particularly the treatment of Black Americans by law enforcement. However, as the controversy escalated and the president weighed in, the narrative shifted dramatically. The conversation moved away from police brutality and towards the perceived disrespect of the flag, transforming a protest about social justice into a debate about patriotism and national symbols. The national anthem itself became a highly charged symbol in this debate. Its historical use in sports, its symbolic importance for many Americans, and its connection to military service made it a particularly sensitive focal point. For many, the anthem represents unity, sacrifice, and the ideals of the nation. For others, it also represents a history of oppression and inequality, making it a complex and sometimes contradictory symbol depending on one's lived experience and perspective. This dual interpretation made finding common ground incredibly difficult. The economic repercussions of this controversy were also a major point of discussion and speculation. There was a significant debate over whether the player protests were directly impacting NFL ratings. While some pointed to declining viewership numbers as evidence of fan backlash, others argued that factors like cord cutting, the overall decline in live TV viewership, game quality, and concerns about player safety like concussions were more significant contributors. It was difficult to isolate the exact impact of the protests, but the perception of a negative effect certainly fueled the controversy. Sponsors also found themselves in a precarious position. Many corporate partners of the NFL chose to stay silent, trying to avoid alienating either side of the deeply divided public. However, some did make statements, often emphasizing their support for both patriotism and social justice, a difficult tightrope walk. The pressure on these companies was immense as they tried to balance their brand image with the highly charged political landscape. No one wanted to be seen as taking the wrong side. Fan reactions were incredibly polarized, reflecting the broader divisions in American society. Some fans boycotted games, stopped watching, or refused to buy merchandise in protest of the players' actions. They felt betrayed and disrespected. Others actively supported the players, seeing their protests as a courageous stand for justice and a necessary use of their platform. This division among the fanbase impacted stadium attendance, merchandise sales, and the overall atmosphere around the league. It was no longer just about rooting for your team. The broader cultural impact of this controversy was profound. It wasn't confined to the NFL, it spilled over into other sports, with athletes in the NBA and other leagues also engaging in protests or expressing solidarity. It became a central talking point in the ongoing culture war, in America a shorthand for discussing deeper ideological divides. The debate around kneeling during the anthem became a proxy for larger arguments about race, politics, and national identity. It truly permeated every aspect of public discourse. In the aftermath, the NFL struggled to find a consistent policy regarding the national anthem. There were initial attempts to mandate standing under threat of fines or other penalties, but these policies were met with significant pushback from the players' union and civil liberties groups. The league eventually walked back some of these stricter rules, recognizing the complexity of the issue and the importance of player voice. It was a clear indication that the initial hardline stance was unsustainable. President Trump continued to engage with the issue, keeping it alive in his rallies on social media and in interviews. For him, it was a powerful political tool, a way to energize his base and frame himself as a defender of traditional American values. He consistently hammered home the message that the protests were disrespectful and unpatriotic, ensuring that the controversy remained at the forefront of public consciousness. It became a recurring theme in his political narrative. The long-term impact on player activism is still being felt today. While the specific act of kneeling during the anthem became less prevalent in the immediate years following the peak of the controversy, the movement undoubtedly empowered athletes to use their platforms for social justice in other ways. The NBA, for example, embraced player activism much more openly than the NFL initially did, demonstrating different approaches to managing athlete engagement in political and social issues. It showed that athlete voices could not be silenced. The legacy of this controversy is immense. It fundamentally changed the relationship between sports, politics, and social justice in America. It forced leagues, owners, players, and fans to confront uncomfortable truths about race, patriotism, and free speech. It showed the immense power of a presidential voice to shape public discourse and the unwavering resolve of athletes to stand up for what they believe in. It was a defining moment that will be studied and debated for years to come. Looking back on it now, I think about how complex and emotionally charged that period was. It wasn't just a simple disagreement, it was a clash of deeply held beliefs and values. I remember feeling the tension every Sunday watching to see what teams would do, what players would say. It really made me think about the role of sports in society and whether it can truly ever be separate from the world around it. My own perspective evolved as I listened to different viewpoints and tried to understand the various motivations at play. The takeaway from all of this is that the incidents surrounding President Trump's controversial football take wasn't just a fleeting moment of outrage. It was a pivotal event that exposed deep fissures in American society and forced a reckoning within the world of professional sports. It highlighted the power of symbols, the importance of context, and the enduring struggle for justice and equality. It remains one of the most significant and impactful moments in modern sports history, a testament to how deeply intertwined our games are with our lives and our politics. So what do you all think? How did this controversy impact you? Did it change your view of the NFL or of athlete activism? I want to hear your thoughts, your memories, your perspectives on this truly unforgettable period. Drop a comment below, let's keep this conversation going. And if you found this deep dive thought-provoking and engaging, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to me and helps us explore these important topics together.